Let's freaking go. Oh my gosh. I just noticed on Rumble for the first time as I was looking at this episode, I was like, well, where does it give the timestamp as to when we're going to kick this off? And it's kind of in small print right there above the description. But what I also noticed for the first time is that there's an actual subscribe where you can put money in. I guess that's towards this channel. I didn't even realize that. I got to look into this. I have some questions for Rumble, but it's pretty neat because it's, if you click on that $sign next to the subscribe, you can actually choose the amount and it says like your rant here. So I guess you can enter some type of rant, and the more you put in, the longer your rant will stick. How cool is that? Learning things every day, folks. I swear. How does one go from no social media influence or impact or involvement in any way, shape, or form to doing what we're doing here today? All right, kick this live on Instagram. Hope you're all having a blessed Sunday. What a gorgeous day. What a great day to be alive. And live in meaning and purpose. I pray you find some meaning and purpose in this day that brings you great peace, clarity, and a clear path forward that's just going to take you to higher, new horizons. That being said, welcome to UNMUZZLED Chat. I freaking love you guys so much. I'm not even going to rant so much today. Well, maybe a little. Who knows? It's typically what I do. I honestly should be packing up because I am planning on relocating. That means I got to go pick up the processed bear meat, and I'm just going to be heading further down the mountain for a couple of reasons, but we could get into that at a future date. So there's only so much daylight. There's only so much we could do in a day. Isn't that crazy how it just keeps flying by? We are to really live in the moment. And one sad thing I will really miss, and I wish I would have been driving the extra hour when I was further out to experience this church right here in Pine Top. And it is actually called The Church. So you could Google The Church, type in Pine Top. I'm sure they have an app and a webpage with the ability to watch these sermons and services. Today's was really awesome. However, it became even more powerful with the other gentleman of last week. So if you feel called and you don't have necessarily a church or pastor that you feel guided by, and you want some real good direction, and you want to feel some of the fruit of the Spirit, I would highly recommend you check out last week's. So that would be the 13th, October 13th, through The Church. And it was a whole other gentleman. And then it seemed more so the main pastor today. And he's a wiry fella. I kind of like it. He's definitely lived from some life on the other side of the tracks. So he's as real as it gets. And I like that. And he's got a gift, no doubt. But both these gentlemen and their talking points, it just really created a very nice picture for us regarding the lives and everything we're experiencing in this time we're in. And I do believe that will help clear a path if we humble ourselves and actually absorb the word and the teachings of these two sermons very powerfully. I feel very strongly there really wasn't a word misspoken, like out of place or wrong. And it's really engulfing in God's light. He's already won the spiritual battle. Jesus already showed us and beat death, conquered death in this existence. So we truly have nothing to fear. We can come from a place and fight from a place in this existence from victory. So more than It's going to be hard to do, but more than diving into the circus, diving into our threats, like I do want to get better at drawing people into the light, and more so leading from a faithful place. And nothing, all glory to God. I'm just a vessel. But I could see through positive messaging how it becomes more so attractive than all this darkness around us. So I apologize in a sense. It's like I've been kicking you guys while you're already down, as though the devil hasn't been beating you down enough. I've stepped in that sense, and we're so mortal, but that's that in and of itself is the essence and the beauty of this existence, that we will never arrive. It is forever a work in progress in this existence. So I'm so grateful for those men, those messages, and the gentleman that I prayed for me last week. Because after the service, they had little groups of prayer teams, and if you want to go, receive some prayer in your life for anything. And I'll even divulge that I was seeking more strength and healing and a better perspective on things. So I'm more so becoming a warrior for God from the place of victory. And it really helped set up this last week. And I want to continue climbing in that. It just feels so much better than being lost in all the fluff. So I walk away from this church continually in the fruit of the Spirit, letting cars pass me, just smiles on my faces. And I head up, and I'm like, well, I best hit this one grocer because I'm having a hard time finding particular food I like to eat. A organic oatmeal. And it's like Quakers everywhere, high sugars, high iron, all this other crap. And it's just like having a hard time finding this organic oatmeal. So I end up in the Safeway. Sure enough, they don't have it. So I grab some Kodiak. I know it's not the best stuff, but I do need a quick source in the morning. But anyway, as I'm in the checkout line, it's a self-checkout line. One's down. There's only two, and it's pretty decent length, but feeling good. That old lady in front of me, kind of thing. And then the next thing you know, that sets me up really well. And there's an older gentleman in front of her, but it sets me up really well with the next guy that comes in behind me. Hey. That was loud. Sorry, my dog here was asleep and her tail was whacking the bin. Sorry for my distraction. This gentleman walks by with this really awesome shirt. It was something about We the People and our veterans. Really cool shirt. Obviously, compliment the shirt. We kick off conversation. We have nothing better to do. The line's moving forward, and we just had such an amazing conversation, mainly consisting of the deceit of the devil and information, how crucial it is, how evil has effectively built out a megahorn for all the propaganda, all the lies, and too many people are becoming deceived. And this is crazy. We didn't even get into like political. We were seeing past that. And as I get up to the register, the lady's already gone, and it was that older gentleman, the one next to me. And I still was talking to the guy kind of behind me. And I mentioned something about, it's a great challenge, evil with its megahorn or something along those lines. And the old gentleman turns over. He's like, "Are you talking about Trump?" I could tell already just from the energy, the way he said it, he very much disliked that man, which a lot of people, he's an easy man to hate. Come on, man. Let's be real. He's simply a billionaire. The majority of us are not. So you just highlight any arrogance or something. It's just naturally coveting, and don't get me started. But it's so much bigger than Trump. It's so much bigger than Kamala. It's so much bigger than any political figure at this point. And it's such a challenging moment. It's so fleeting, but there's a bigger point to this all, folks, than this situation. I'm not here just to rant about the situation, but I see as to, with these situations happening, why more and more are fleeting from having these conversations versus standing for truth. Let come what may. Don't worry about the outcomes. It is up to them whether they want to hear or not. And that's where I'm more so, basically how it went down was I started on like painting the bigger picture, right, of information. And then he just started going off saying some very negative things about Trump. And it's like, oh my gosh, like he's going to ruin the Constitution. He's going to trample all over it. And it's like, really, fella, like the Democrats are actually fulfilling that. But yet again, let's backtrack. Let's step out the bigger picture, because what we need is a unification of we the people. It's today's title, right? United we stand, divided we fall. Heck, that's even the cover image. And it's got a fractured flag. Are we going to repair that? Or are we going to let it just entirely deteriorate? So I really tried to get back. I could tell at this point, walls were up. There was really no getting through, in a sense. I just was like, look, the candidates don't even matter. What it boils down to is that we unite against the system at play to ensure our best interests at heart, especially, election coming up. And he's like, well, the election outcomes were the election outcomes, speaking of 2020. And I was just like, oh boy. I'm like, where'd you get your information? Because that was a selection. And I kept calling him friend, this old timer, like, that was a selection, friend. The information's overwhelming, and that's where it's crucial, because obviously I know where he's getting his information. Oh, the safest and free, most secure election ever. Unbelievable. Totally disregarding the 20 different angles that entirely blow up the narrative that it was safe at all. It was a selection, 100%. Now, I don't freaking care in this moment. I genuinely don't care about Trump, Kamala, Biden, any politician. I don't. Because if we, the people, lose election integrity, which we have, and it isn't one person, one vote, then the great equalizer of this country is gone. The gavel, the keys, no longer are within we the people's hands. We are now an occupied, conquered country. Just in that aspect, in and of itself. So I just was like, friend. And I could tell he couldn't wrap up fast enough. And he started shimmying off, and he went to a service counter. So it didn't help having to get loud. But I was like, I plead with you, stop going to the controlled media outlets that are giving us an illusion of choice. Because that's what it is, my dear listeners. It's an illusion of choice. No matter what outcome, it is imperative that we, the people, unify in this country. All races, all religions. We could set aside our differences. That would be pleasing for Jesus. That would be pleasing for God. That would be the best outcome, no matter what. And we have that ability. We genuinely do. Evil is what has poisoned hearts in this situation. Like, I now couldn't wrap up my checkout fast enough because I wanted to go embrace this man as a son of God. I mean, he might have rejected it, but look, sir, I love you. Together, we can ensure better outcomes. We need to see past this polarization of characters, of this bread and circus, if you will, because collectively together we can. So it just blows the whole point of this story in this actual situation that took place for me today. My heart genuinely goes out. My prayer is to soften that man's heart on his core beliefs. Now, the core beliefs clearly he's come to believe aren't of him, like in and of himself. They're the talking points. They are from I don't know if it comes across judgy or not, but it is from the synagogue of Satan. What has Satan come here to do? Callous the hearts, divide the people, become destructive, deceive, lie. So to even feel that election was free and fair, and I even know my personal ballot, more than likely it didn't go the way I voted, because I went in the day of, and for whatever reason, it was registered as an early vote. So there's a lot going on. And as you guys all know, I mean, you watch 2,000 Mules, you watch so many things that completely blow up that it was one person, one vote. I mean, it was so many dead people, so many illegals, so many multiple ballots. So like the Dominion machines themselves and the calculations that took place weren't even possible. You could punch in the same algorithm to each county in selective states all across the nation, the same algorithm, and it came up with the votes. So you would input register voters, this algorithm, boom. You shouldn't even, like, that's not even possible. So it goes to show the Dominion systems and the software and the connecting to the web, that was weaponized to steal our vote and more so become a selection in and of itself. So the point truly is, we, my friends, have a lot more work to do. We must stand strong in every opportunity we have. Every opportunity, every moment. And I know in doing so, we could refine our practices and those conversations into getting more clever, getting more loving, hitting it from angles that we're going to end up with more and more success. But above all, than shifting anyone's perspective on any particular thing, I find it most crucial to shift the conversation at this point to, hey, where are you getting your information? And anywhere that's censored, controlled, is going to manipulate people. And there's extreme bias. And that's unacceptable, even if it is more so leaning towards your core beliefs. It's like, that is a dangerous thing. We could acknowledge that in and of itself is from evil. It's not good. So the only way we ourselves will be free, the only way we will be able to see clear, is getting on free speech platforms and then seeking discernment and doing our due diligence. We cannot be lazy and only take talking points. So it's very alarming to be in a podunk town. I would have ventured to say, if I had to guess, that gentleman would have been on the other side of the spectrum, which can be at times just as bad as the side he's on. Because you could be totally ingrained and wrapped up into red and, oh yeah, big red wave and all these things. I mean, let's be honest, it's kind of the lesser of the two evils. However, you're still under the illusion of choice. There's still a bigger picture to grasp, and it's spiritual at nature, right? That we obviously know there's a bunch of freaking rhinos. That's where I think the conversation should even be on the outside of that whole bread and circus. There's times we could dive in, but not get too lost, to touch on some things that only bring to foresight, like the bigger picture yet again, and the synagogue of Satan and the corruption that has ensued. I'm grateful for those conversations, and I'm grateful, like the more you step up, like this one didn't rile me up. This one isn't negatively weighing on me. My heart genuinely goes out to the man. I wish I could have wrapped up in time to at least offer an embrace to, it's just like finding common ground. Like, look, all that aside, I want your day to be blessed from here on out. Do you believe in Jesus? Or something along those lines, where we could just set it all down and maybe actually shift everything. And then maybe at the end of that, I could just plant a seed, like hand a card even. Like, check out Rumble. There's so much information. If you don't know, if all you're doing is traditional news, if all you're doing are social medias, I don't see him on social medias personally, but I'd imagine, definitely traditional news. So you never know what impact in actually showing up. Oh, the pastor today. It's like, what is your sign read? Who are you? What are you projecting? Not even projecting, like actually fulfilling and doing. What is missing in your sign? You'll have to actually watch the sermon to really capture what he's speaking of. But it made me sit here and question. And it's like, I don't want to drag Jesus' name through the mud. We're God's. And I can see in a lot of ways how I've done just that. And forgive me. I look forward to doing better. And I hope we all seek that, because through that, undoubtedly, we could have far greater impact. And then when you plant that seed within this individual, who knows? Who knows how connected his family is? Who knows what conversations that could kick off with his kids, maybe grandkids, and futuristically have a grave shift or difference. Okay, this is going to be a short one. We're going to go ahead and read from Jesus is Calling, and then there's some biblical scripture I'd like to share, and we're going to wrap up, and I'm going to get relocated. So Jesus is Calling, October 20th reads, I am your living God, far more abundantly alive than the most vivacious person you know. Vivacious. Now, I didn't look that up, but that's just speaking vibrant. I almost said flamboyant. Let's just say full of energy. He's far more abundantly alive. This is so real. Like the devil, and we're not grasping it enough. Why is it on the fringe? Why are these discussions on the fringe? Why are some people just, and I used to be like that, but there's far more truth to this than this very existence. Once again, it just is like, think about the fact we're visiting. Think about the fact Jesus conquered death. There's plenty of evidence. 500 witnesses, written accounts. The evidence is overwhelming. And when you build relation with God and you seek that meekness and you seek the questions from him, like obviously, like that love you feel, it is undeniable. Our loving creator is the light. And then the deceiver, just like these encounters, is I think why we're afraid and we should have nothing to fear. That's the thing. When we're really walking in faith, there is no fear. Yes, certain outcomes that are entirely out of our control can sadden our hearts, but it should not drag us down. How could that challenge your faith? It could sadden your heart, but it could strengthen your resolve to even show up more, to seize more opportunities. Because I'm telling you, if you add 1 out of 10, like 9 of them could give you the bird or whatnot. And yes, it's heavy, but you get that 1 and you really hang into that. All 10 were worth it. 100%. This continues. The human body is wonderfully crafted, but gravity and the inevitable effects of aging weigh it down. Even the most superb athlete cannot maintain his fitness over many decades. It gets harder and harder, doesn't it? Lasting, abundant life can be found in me alone. Do not be anxious. On that other point, you could see the ones that don't believe in God. They are all about, and they'll go to any lengths, whether it's adrenochrome. It's horrific. It's a heavy one. Anything to prolong their youth in this life. That's what they covet or seek. It's insane. Lasting, abundant life can be found in me alone. Do not be anxious about the weakness of your body. Instead, view it as a prelude to my infusing energy into your being. It's nice to keep up on hygiene and things of that nature, but so many of us, through filters, through Hollywood, through our friends, are being influenced, especially with women, surgeries and all these unnatural things that create toxicity throughout the body, and literally are foreign substances in your body. So you're almost becoming a hybrid human in a sense with these foreign substances. Now it's like I view it like the vehicle in a sense. Like there's maintenance now necessary in order to keep things going futuristically. It's just natural. There's nothing better than natural, and coming to terms with life and the journey, the natural paths we all have. The more you get wrapped up in that, it's almost a false sense of idolship, and it can taint our being and can distract us and pull us away from the actual fruit. It's a tough one, I'm sure, for everyone. So maybe question what you're listening to, what you're watching, who you're surrounding yourself with, because if they're we'll just leave it at those questions and continue. As you identify more and more fully with me, my life becomes increasingly intertwined with yours. Though the process of aging continues inwardly, you grow stronger with the passing years. Amen to that. Those who live close to me develop an inner aliveness that makes them seem youthful in spirit of their years. Let my life shine through you as you walk in the light with me. Amen. I pray that upon us all. There's a few biblical scriptures here. We got Psalm 139:14, Colossians 1:29, 1 John 1:7. Now there were some biblical references here that jumped out at me that I think could help us stay more so on that straight and narrow. Attitude jumped out at me. Bad attitudes hurt your relationship with God. If I had a bad attitude about that encounter today, dang, that sure would have set me on a horrific path. But luckily, that's where these churches, these pastors can be a great blessing too. They can help breathe the fruit of the Spirit into our being. They can deceive us and distract us and things of that nature too. So we're to gain the discernment. But I'm grateful for the path that set me on this day. Bad attitudes can lead to poor decisions. 100%. Numbers 14, 1-4. Always trust God for your life. Proverbs 29:25. Choose a positive attitude. I still don't know how to say that. HABAKKUK. I still don't know how to say that. 3:17-19. So much bad attitude right here. We have more control over that than we know. And if we're just highly erratically emotional and not balanced with logic or built up the reservoir in faith, then we more so are to be triggered and have the wrong attitude that will just lead us down a destructive path more than a rewarding one, because we're all going to face challenges, and it almost does boil down to kind of your attitude as to whether it's going to be a good experience or a negative experience. God will reward the meek. That's a crucial part of gaining the faith and trust in God, 100%. And it's not easy for us to become meek because we're hurt by so many things in this existence. So to trust in a God when we don't even know, that's why it's like a relationship and takes time. And miracles happen. The miracles that have taken place in my life, it's crazy. I'm so human that a lot of them I didn't even acknowledge, like it was as profound as Jesus healing the blind. But I'm so wrapped up in my flaws that I didn't even see the miracle at the time take place. But fast forward, wow, so clear. Nothing other than a miracle. So I'm just here to tell you my testimony that he's the only being in this existence we can put our entire trust in, entirely. And that's why it's so important we gain the discernment between evil and good, that we don't get deceived. There's so much deceit. Like individuals that are believing in political figures and the illusion of choice. There's a spiritual battle being waged right here. And it is bigger than our politics. It is bigger than our government. 100%. God gives Christians a new attitude. Gives freely. It truly does become a blessing, a gift, a miracle for some. Philippians 1:20-25. We should imitate Jesus' attitude. Philippians 2:5. Jesus' attitude from the loving, but also the table flipping Jesus as well. Because there are some egregious things happening in this country which are downright unacceptable. Murdering innocent life. 100% unacceptable. We should be flipping tables. Christians should always rejoice. Yeah. God's won. It becomes tough, I get it, in this existence right here, right now, when you see so much pain, so much suffering, so many attacks, freedoms being stripped from us. It's hard to rejoice. But in the end, it's beyond. God has already won. We can just walk in a place of victory, no, come what may. I'm going to work on that. I think there's a way of articulating it that kind of is a little more relatable. I'm going to have to think on that. Philippians 4:4. Never be anxious. That's not good. That's a bad attitude. Philippians 4:6-7. You'll need to become more explosive, and you could have the right intentions when you're anxious, and I'm guilty. You could have the right intentions, but the interactions will fall more so ineffective, to say the least. Because in anxious, we're not really walking in the love and the fruit and that place of victory, right? What was the other one? Oh, there's so many jumping out at me now. You know, I was looking for victory, you know, and there just wasn't in this, Tyndale Verse Finder, victory in some biblical scriptures, even though I know there is. So maybe I should have done a online search. But there's unbelievers. Oh, trust. Trust is good. Let's just go through that real quick. God wants us to be true and righteous. Psalm 51, 1-6. Truth never changes. Proverbs 12:19. Truth sets us free. John 8:31-32. Truth is found in Jesus Christ. John 14:16. God's word is truth. Never changes. Forever. Everlasting truth. John 17:17. We must not only believe the truth, but also live by it. 1 John 1:5-7. So unbelievers, we must not imitate unbelievers. Wow. Moose. Man, she's a sleepy girl. Her tail, she's dreaming like crazy. There's a lot to unpack there. It just depends on the situation, but I could unpack that a lot with that encounter. Anyway, I'll let you ponder that. We must share the gospel with unbelievers. John 17:14-19. Maybe I ought to transitioned into that right away as soon as I saw those walls go up. Unbelievers do not belong to Christ. Romans 8:9. Let's not project as Christians. We must actually become believers. Not just believers, like doers, right? Live it. We should avoid situations that force us to compromise our beliefs. What situations would force us to compromise our beliefs? Let me ask you that. Your job? We should avoid situations that force us to compromise our beliefs. 2 Corinthians 6:14-18. I dare say there should be no situations that we allow to force us in any compromise. That's not good. Unbelievers will not enter heaven. 1 John 5:10-12. Holy smokes, already longer than I was expecting. I am so grateful for each and every one of you. I love you. It is genuinely why I show up and do what I do. Come what may, let the haters hate. If I could help any one of you in some way, shape, or form, that's what it's about. And this is really raw, just the experiences I went through even today. And when I have encounters like that in a small town that is more so, that's kind of a surprising encounter. There was more so, let's just say, conservatives up here. It's a bit shocking, but we're to not waver. We're to stand strong in our beliefs and our truths, but we could come at it from a situation of light, of love. That is going to be the most effective way on planting seeds. The worst thing we could do is not, because the encounter that even ensued after that, when the gentleman behind me came to the register, he's like, "Oh, that's why I don't like speaking." What did he say? It wasn't political, but he just made a point as to how these type of discussions are just becoming harder and harder. And I was like, you know what? They shouldn't be. That's just proof as to how effective evil has become. But we should embrace that challenge. And through the light of victory in Jesus and our loving Creator, I mean, at the end of the day, these encounters, it's their choice. But what it shows me is that too many are being deceived by the devil himself, by the synagogue of Satan. That is 100% what we're up against here. That is 100% what is at play here. And all of it is being utilized to divide us, to pit us against each other. We could set down all the bread and circus and we can unify. Just like, you know what? Forget all of that. We got so many fictional core beliefs on this and that and this and that, and then we're just getting lost in the weeds, just like evil wants us to do. And we're not focusing on our loving Creator enough and Jesus enough to walk in that love, in that faith. What do we have to fear? There's nothing more important than to bring up the name of Jesus in these conversations. Try to just disarm all the junk, all the freaking noise, and be like, dang it, do we want to choose to unite and fight against this evil and fight against Satan? Or do we want evil's infiltration, illusion, and deceitful tactics to divide us and rip us apart? Because that's the moment we have right here, right now. And we got great opportunity. I choose this. What do you choose? And it's your choice. I'm not going to hate you regardless. The only thing I hate are individuals acting out in evil, harming others, especially innocent life. I hate that level of sin. And I believe that's the only healthy hate there is. So, with that, what a gorgeous day. What a gorgeous opportunity. Let's go out there and be warriors for God from a place of victory and shine our light to the best of our ability. Spend some time on our knees. I didn't deserve it, but I'm so grateful for the love He shared with me, not just for me, but for all of you. I didn't get words. I didn't get anything miraculous. I just got an overwhelming feeling a little over a year ago that really shifted the trajectory of my life. And that's what matters in this existence. I know it. That's genuinely it. Maybe I'm getting too caught up in the warfare in this existence. I do know those roads can lead to salvation. They can lead to God. They can lead to health, which would lead to, I don't like evil's tactics. It's diminishing our light. Because I've been there. I've experienced a bioweapon Lyme disease, and it's no freaking joke. And I don't want other evil tactics to diminish other people, to make it. I mean, when it is hard, though, I'm not going to lie. When you open that door to God, He has a way of making all these challenges a blessing. So those going through the harder paths that you wouldn't even wish on anybody, when they open that door, they become the best warriors that Satan fears the most. That's why they're getting hit with these things in this existence to begin with. We don't know what the future holds. That's where the relationship is crucial in this moment. That being said, oh my gosh, let's wrap up. I gotta get moving. I just don't want to leave you. I feel so just grateful today. I'm just grateful for each and every one of you and the opportunities we have. Thank you for magnifying my voice. More importantly than my voice, the guests we have on. If you feel inspired, we need more testimonies. We need more personal stories. How you, whether you are on the other side of the tracks entirely or not, but what strengthened your resolve. You could really bless some lives and help bring people into the light. And I welcome those conversations on this platform. Just reach out to unmuzzledchat@gmail.com. Oh, you bless my life. Just even thinking about it, I know. So I encourage you, if you want to just do a call in, we could do it that way. That's fine. But if you could sit in front of a camera and laptop, that obviously would be a little better. Let's shine the light a little on our affiliations. Because after all, I have been full-time on this and I can't imagine doing anything else. And I do want to refine my processes and more so effectively become a servant of God, just a mouthpiece, his will above mine. Obviously, I constantly step in it, so I have a lot of refining to do. Maybe in this raw, honest refinement would kind of help others challenge themselves too. Like, it's all okay. But genuinely, I do want to, more than lead by an example and pedestal kind of way, just be an attractive light, right? But have God do that through my being. Whatever. Words. Back to the affiliations. The affiliations are genuinely, every one of them that we've associated with, if they didn't meet certain criteria, we wouldn't have affiliated with them. We want to benefit you above all, the listener, with a discount. We want to benefit you with a product. And we want to be bringing in a company that has proven to me to be doing things with the funds that align with our morals and values and helping against kind of fight and show up on the warfare that's being, because obviously in this state we're in this existence with a false currency, the currency ends up a means to an end and definitely can help us. So instead of funding our enemies with this fake currency, let's abolish the dang freaking Federal Reserve West Central banking system. What a crock. Keep us all in debt, ultimately steer us into a centralized digital currency, and we'll own nothing and be happy. Unbelievable evil in this world. What they're willing to say out loud, it is incredible. And it's incredible that so much of us have our blinders on to not even properly acknowledge that. And yay, man in tights, let's watch Pigskin like crazy. I don't mean to become insulting, but genuinely, like, grasp what's going on here. All of a sudden, the men in tights, there's literally utterly no importance there anymore. It does kind of more so become laughable. And then in fact, when you look at it and you see the commercials, you see the, what's that word I'm looking for? You see even grooming kind of type tactics. It's gross. It's just like, why? How did I ever enjoy that poison? It's wild. So Patriot Mobile is a great blessing. If you haven't checked them out, give them a call. Check out their webpage. Look at what they're engaged in. You could potentially save money on your mobile, increase your cellular connection, and gain a layer of protection and privacy through them versus Verizon or AT&T or T-Mobile or whatever. Information's not going to hurt you. Check them out. Everyone has insurance, health insurance, life insurance. Check out Insure a Patriot. Mark over there is a true warrior for truth. And he's got a podcast and he's out there every day. So I'm grateful at this point to associate with such a godly man and a warrior for God. He will give you a free analysis with your health, life insurance, even your business insurance. Just call or check out his webpage, the links below, and just mention Unmuzzled. Free analysis. Information is so crucial. Other than that, preparations, American Reserve, Unmuzzled will get you 10% off. They got survival food, water, filtration, generators, all sorts of necessities. If I mean, gosh, in North Carolina, if some of them folks would have gotten some of the basic things they offered, they would have fared much better. Dare I say, some lives would have been saved. It's crucial. I don't want any of you to go hungry. EMP Shield, one of the OGs, sponsors to this podcast. Freaking love them. So grateful. I should even just pull up. My gosh, let's do it. Why not? Really slow typer here. Let's open this up. Do just a quick screen share. I guess I could have just clicked the link below. That would have taken me in. But to go to EMP Shield, folks, my goodness. Oh, wow. So I'd imagine you might even get 20% off because you enter unmuzzled during checkout. If they're already potentially doing a 10%, oh, it's a buy two, save five, buy three. So you buy three or more with our code, you could get 20% off. That's pretty freaking awesome. But you could check out the warranties, the testing, Keystone compliance, but it's simply an EMP. This has all the testing information. If you feel this product isn't going to do what it says it's going to do, check out their testing. It is unbelievable what it will do. But you got protection for your home, for your vehicle, radio protection, solar protection, generator protection, motorcycle, RV. You know what, Jim, Crickets, I need to order one for this rig. I keep forgetting with the solar investment and everything done. But at minimum, to get it on your vehicle, dollar for dollar, the best investment you could make. So if you buy multiple, you could get it down. This micro, most engine bays will hold this one. And these literally tested out the same. But if you want the black, if you want sleeker, if you have a motorcycle, then this is the one you'd go with. It's just a little more expensive, but it's a smaller unit to install. They're super easy to install. And just to think, like, you got lightning protection, solar flare protection, EMP warfare protection, which experts have stated it only takes 5. They can knock out the whole U.S. grid. Best dollar for dollar investment. And you're getting $50 off. Well, I was actually mistaken, folks. I apologize. I was saying 20% as though we were getting a 10% off discount. You're getting $50 off every single product you order. So that 5 or 10%, that's how it would be applied. I apologize. It's a $50 off every single product. So instead of $3.99, you're looking at $3.50 before tax. You buy multiple, then that other percentage is going to kick in. Click the link below. Order yours today. Other than that, we got bond charge with a whole bunch of health products. That's 15% off. Just mention UNMUZZLED or click the link below. We have the Masterpiece Tincture. Helps eradicate metals and forever chemicals. And then we also... What was it? I was going to say another. Check out Black Eagle Apparel. Okay. Let's get some freedom merch. Let's embody like free speech and becoming unmuzzled. Time to get travel mode here. Okay. Unmuzzled, dang it. That's what's crucial. Let's embody that. There's nothing to fear biblically, nothing to fear in this existence, my friends. I fear no man. We're all visiting here. Let's up our health and let's ensure we maintain our First Amendment, free speech, so we can effectively unite against the synagogue of Satan and see more blissful times in this existence for our children. All right, I love you. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. May our loving Creator God bless you this beautiful day. May He bless this country and the challenges we're going to have here in the future. Until next time, take care.